would Jamal Murray have been suspended if he connected with the referee when he threw the heat pack on the court?
I don't know.
If a member of either team with the heat pack on the court had stepped on it and turned an ankle, would that have?
I think that would have done it. Like if someone had gotten hurt, you can't go. Someone could have.
So if that's the case, then just throwing it on the court, or in the direction of the court, or in the direction of an official, should be enough to suspend him. And I understand the league does not want to suspend a player in the playoffs. You really have to commit some sort of a violation in order to be sat for the playoffs, in the playoffs. You know, being down 0-2 should not matter, in my estimation. If they're up 2-0, would they have suspended him? I mean, these are the questions as a fan that one has. Because, again, Jamal Murray lost his mind. Yeah. He must have just snapped.
Yeah, he was
clearly
fed up with.
Obviously,
because saw the way Malone acted.
He doesn't strike me as a guy who's just like, going to throw stuff on the court.
He's Canadian.
Canadians are nice.
Canadians are nice people.
Yeah,
we know this.
I've never seen Jamal
Stacey
get
Dales.
Exactly. Every Canadian I've ever met.
Moranis.
Right. I've never met a difficult Canadian.
Very friendly. Ryan Reynolds. Everyone's friendly.
Edge. Christian? Well, Christian maybe not, but Edge for sure.
I honestly don't.
He's very nice.
It seemed like
Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Fed up with the officiating, also fed up with Minnesota's defense, man. It got him struggling bad.
Yeah, that played a part, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris, he threw the towel, which is bad, and then he followed it up. That's why I thought a suspension could happen, because he chucked two things at him.
Like the Key and Peele skit, man.
But I don't go third pump. I don't get. I mean, Chris Finch is right. He called it dangerous and inexcusable.
Yeah.
And because it is. And even the crew chief, Mark Davis, said he didn't notice the toss at the time, and it could have been reviewed under the hostile act trigger. How about that? But it would have just been subject to a technical foul, not an ejection. Quote, for an ejection, you would have to determine it was thrown directly at somebody versus thrown in frustration. What the hell does that mean?
Well, he had to chuck it over a group of people that were sitting in front of the bench.
I mean, that was a long toss.
You know, I'm not normally the guy who calls for someone to get suspended or fined, but they got very lucky. Malone not getting the tee, Murray not getting tossed.
That one I get, though. That one I completely...
Yeah, but you knock up to an official like that, like they both got into a fighting stance, like they were ready to
But
go.
that one I can understand, where you're just like, you know what, I'm going to show... I want restraint out of officials and umpires.
No doubt.
I want it. Like, and again, Aaron Judge got ejected from his first game ever the other day. And
bad.
And he said something. I mean, you could see he barked out something and then turned and said something as he was walking away and got ejected there. Yeah. And umpires in Major League Baseball have been way too sensitive over the last couple of years. But things get said, and you know, Aaron Boone got ejected this year for something a fan above him said.
Right. That's true.
And
got a tee for glancing at somebody.
And these are difficult gigs.
Yeah, that ante was
these are difficult gigs with replay and 4K and fans showing up, you know, to the stadium, hitting their apps, gambling in the stands, putting money on every pitch, every basket, every possession.
No doubt.
So I think intensity is ratcheting up on that front. Intensity is ratcheting up with Twitter accounts that are created just to see how bad the officiating has been or how inefficient it has been. So when an official shows restraint, I don't have an issue. I kind of give him a kudos on it. But somebody did not restrain himself from throwing an object on the court. And why do you think he's throwing it? Out of frustration at what? At the officiating. And who did he throw it in the direction of? At an official. How is this guy not suspended for it? Maybe you do look at his entire career and what he is and who he stands for and just show restraint in that regard.
Some people do get the benefit of the doubt.
I think it's because the Nuggets are down 0-2.
Oh, so
and it's the playoffs,
come from up top? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think they're sitting there going, if we suspend him right now, the defending champs could go down 3-0. And they showed some restraint on that regard.
Yeah.
and that this would affect the status of the series, which is another reason to suspend him. It's just like it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter where it is. It shouldn't matter what's. I mean, the officials had a player thrown an object on the court. Never heard of such a thing.
That's tough.
So I just got to question that one.
100,000 is a lot, though,
dude. I'm sure it is, and I know it is.
In
Clear
the
it is.
Scheme of things for him, though, not really.
Player definitely doesn't want to scratch out $100,000 or have it out of his paycheck. I'd imagine. The other thing I kind of someone explained this to me. So Austin Rivers went on TV yesterday and said NFL players could not make the transition to the NBA, but NBA players could make the transition to the NFL. He
said there's at least 30 guys in the NBA who could easily play in the NFL and be stars.
Be stars in the game, huh?
Yeah.
And a lot of NFL players have taken offense to that?
A lot. Chris Long in particular was having a lot of fun on Twitter last night, posting some videos and responding to people having this conversation. You know, there's like a handful of guys, I think.
We've come up with that. There's at least probably 10 who
There's a handful. I think Anthony Edwards, you're just watching a guy right now. That would be really fun to watch him play edge or outside backer or something.
And we're not saying lift him up today and put him, like, give him some time to.
Is that what Austin Rivers said?
I'm pretty sure it's
like today. I mean, Chris Long's conversation was like, look, the reason why these guys can't and won't and will never is because they don't want to get hit. They don't want to go to training camp.
Correct.
Like, you don't understand what it is. And here's the other thing. We get coached hard. These coaches yell the meanest things at us. A guy will blow out his knee, and they will move the drill around him so they can keep practicing while this guy gets taken care of. Like,
no doubt.
There's just an attitude in the NFL that will never, ever exist in the NBA.
I also think there is an undercurrent at play, and this is what I thought of when I was seeing a lot of the
it was fun.
Response.
It was kind of a fun.
No, I know,
yeah.
and it's perfect for May 8th.
For sure.
And I think the undercurrent to this is good luck going from your sport to the ultimate contact sport. Good luck with that. Okay. Where, a foul that you consider not being called here, like the hacking foul that Anthony Edwards did not have called on him. Good luck when that hack is potentially taking your friggin' head off.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good luck with that, number one. And then number two, I think this is the ultimate, is like good luck going to a sport where you can't get out of your contract just because you say you want out.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Doubt.
Rich. That's
Sir,
not the point of this argument, though.
Doubt. I know it's the physical aspect of it.
Yeah, I don't think.
But the undercurrent, it's just like, it's the sense of what he said, of what Chris Long said. It's the culture of where you're going, from where you currently are, in your nice spot with your roster of just 15 guys, and then when the playoffs hit, you're a star, so you play in the titan of the rotation. In the NFL, there's a next man up mentality. There's somebody that's coming for your job all the time. Good luck with that, unless you're a quarterback. Unless you're the Falcons. A lot of unlesses. But and good luck dealing with the aspect of the hard coaching and the hard work. And you can't just get to where you want to go to play with somebody you want to play with that you've always dreamt of playing with just by saying you want out, which is the way it works in the NBA. And I understand.
Yeah, this is
I understand the argument. I understand the argument is about whether they can physically just go from one endeavor to the other, because it's that easy. You don't have to work that hard. You don't have to X's and O's. You don't have to know what the guy across from your line of scrimmage is going to do pre-snap. You don't have to study as hard, because your physical attributes that make you such a terrific NBA player can lead to stardom in the NFL. That's part of the argument from the NFL players. And I think there is an undercurrent from the NFL towards NBA players of, you could call it jealousy. You could call it also embitterment. That in the NFL, if you say, I want to trade, 99 times out of 100, you're going to have somebody like Mike Brown tell T. Higgins, enjoy the franchise tag, sir, and put on the stripes because you are playing for the Bengals this year.
Or you're not getting paid.
Right, or good luck. Good luck holding out.
Yeah.
And in the NBA, an NBA player says, I want out. And it's just like, oh, okay, let's figure out what trade we can do that isn't as good for the franchise because we've had our entire leverage kneecapped by your public statement. But that's the way it goes in the NBA. And that's part of, like, good luck in the NFL. So you can go to the NFL and you can go get your ass handed to you physically that you have a complaint about on the hardwood all the time. You know, when you're bumped, trying to take a jumper.
But you act like every NBA player is like that. That's not
I'm not acting
NBA
like that.
And I think the point being is, do you think there's someone in the NFL who could play in the NBA?
I'm sure there are.
And if there were,
hoopers.
why wouldn't you be doing it? Because the NFL seems to be a whole lot tougher based on everything you just said. And like I said, I think this was just like a fantasy thing. But like if we're breaking it down, I don't know that there's anyone in the NFL who could play in the NBA. But I'm sure there probably are some guys in the NBA who could potentially.
Well,
Isaiah Stewart, 6'8", 255.
Well,
for the Pistons.
what position? But what position would Isaiah Stewart play?
What about Russell Westbrook? Like we always say this about a prime Russell Westbrook. Free safety?
Well, I'm sure. And plus,
wide receiver?
Tony,
like that?
Look, the tight end is the position that is mostly associated with somebody who has a basketball
Tony
background.
Gonzalez, Gates, Jimmy Graham.
Okay. Like, I understand that. So, but that just because that happens
3 out of like 2,000.
doesn't mean that a power forward can suddenly play linebacker all of a sudden, or some big man like the kid from NC State can suddenly, be a tackle in the NFL. Right,
that seems unlikely, in my opinion.
But if you're saying Austin Rivers says give it some time, and he can do it, sure, I'll buy that. But again, my point is, as Chris Long points out, there is an entirely different coaching and management structure in the National Football League than there is in the NBA, and good luck trying to endeavor it. And part of it is, if you're an all-star player in the NBA and you're like, I want out, suddenly it's like, oh, we have to do that because that's the way it works here. In the NFL, a player goes, I want out. Very rarely are they accommodated. Like, who's been accommodated on that front in the NFL recently? Was it Devontae Adams was the last one? Well, they say, I want out. Ooh. And suddenly you get to go. And like Devontae Adams had a very NBA type experience where he's like, I want out. I want to play with somebody in particular.
Right.
Can I play? I'd like to go there. And he was accommodated.
Yeah.
Rodgers might be the last one too. I want out. I want to be accommodated.
Doesn't happen very often. I think more it's just, kind of the big argument has just been the culture-wise of like, these guys don't want to get hit. We see what's called a foul in the NBA. We see guys flopping all over the place.
Well, and that's why I'm bringing the culture of management and coaching to the fore as well. You, TJ, are like, this is just a straight physical conversation.
Yeah, because
do you have the physical skill set in the NBA transfers better than the NFL than the other way around? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.